Just a reminder, a PBR material. So let me go to textures.com. Textures.com. So a PBR material is one material that has all those properties already added to it. Like the old-fashioned way of making textures is, you know, you grab concrete, for example, a picture of concrete, take that same picture to Photoshop and try to create your own bump map or your own specularity map or your own normal map. You know, you would have to do it by hand. The problem with that is it takes a long time, you know. It is it is time consuming. So the magic of PBR materials is that they already have all those properties on it. So if you see a concrete that has some type of reflections on it or some kind of bump map on it, it's already added to it. PBR materials are, the PBR stands for physically based rendering materials. So they're supposed to react to light as the real material would, or as close to the real material would in real life. So when you go online, you can find libraries of PBR materials. So here's the PBR material. And I don't know if you remember, I showed you last time how to put one together in Maya by hand. You know, we were not going to buy the PBR material, so we just put it together from the pictures of the parts. So here's the color, or diffuse, or albedo, whatever you want to call it. Here's a normal map, which is second generation bump map, basically. Here's your roughness maps, which says which parts are more rough. So in this case, the parts that are white are rougher. The parts that are dark are more smooth and more reflective. The height map, which can be used for a bump map or a displacement map. Alpha map is for transparency. We don't use this much when we bring it to 3D, but and ambient occlusions, these are mostly used for gaming objects. So the magic of the PBR material is, instead of putting all this together in Maya or on a game engine, you download this PBR material and dump it on your object, and it's done. You know, it looks perfect right away. It has all the maps applied to it. It has the bump map, the reflections, and all is applied on one. So Substance Painter has those materials on it, those PBR materials on it, and you can actually paint with them. So when you're painting, you know, you can say, okay, I want this to be rock. You pick the PBR rock material and then paint with it. I guess the example showing freckles. I don't know. That's not very impressive, I guess. but you know, it gives you those brushes with all the properties applied to it, with bump map, displacement map, all those things already applied to it. So let's see. So I had an example here. So if you have a sphere and you just grab a brush and start painting with it, where did it go? You grab your brush and start painting with it, and if it's rock, your object is gonna look like rock with the color. If there's little specks of reflectivity on it, you'll see them. You know, you won't have to do much to it. It'll look perfect and very realistic right away. So that's why this thing is so popular. That's why Substance Painter is so popular nowadays. So I'm going to show you how it works in Maya. You can actually, I think Substance Painter is now free for students. Adobe bought Algorithmic, the company that made Substance. So you might find that when you're looking for work, companies ask you to know Painter, at least. Designer kind of creates those materials, those PBR materials. So you know, you'll spend all your time designing a material with nodes. You'll say, okay, I want a rock, I want it to have moss, you know, and create nodes and create the material by yourself, you know. So it's a completely original material. But Substance Painter, what it does, it takes one of these materials and you can paint with it. We can use Substance materials in Maya. We cannot paint with it like you can in Substance Painter, but you can still use these materials. These materials, you can use them on any game engine nowadays, and on any 3D software. Most 3D softwares have rewrote themselves so they can use this type of material. Blender, Maya, 3D Max, I think Cinema 4D also is using them. I'm not quite certain Cinema 4D, but I know you can't use them. And if you go online, you can find libraries, these materials. Most of the time you have to pay for them. I found some free ones, like this one's a free one, and I downloaded it. So I think there's a few free ones in here that you can try. There's other libraries you'll find if you do a search for free PBR materials. I'm sure you'll find a bunch of them online somewhere. But anyway, I downloaded that one, and I'm going to open Maya and show you how it works, how these materials work. So I'm going to go to Maya and open it. And I would like you guys to at least try one of those materials so you can see the difference it makes on your scene, rather than just taking a picture and putting it on your model or on your ground, or whatever object you have. This thing makes a huge difference, and since it's just the objects are going to be on the background, you usually don't want to paint them as detailed as you would a character. So let me go back to modeling standard here if Maya wants to cooperate with me. Oh, come on. There we go. My workspace is not changing now. I think I need to restart my computer. Acting slow. There we go. This morning I've left it on for too long. Okay, so I'm just going to create that same sphere here, so you can see if it looks the same or not. Since PBR materials are physically based rendering, that means it tries to respect the physics of our world. So if you have glass or aluminum, they have certain kinds of reflectivity on their surface, and they've measured this. Somebody's measured this and put it on the PBR material. So when you put a light on your object, it actually reflects that light that way. So the problem we had before the PBR materials came out was that you would make a material, and let's say you assign you wanted to simulate metal or something like that. So you say, okay, metal, I want it to be kind of shiny, so I'll assign a fong to it. So you would assign this to the object, and then if it was daytime, it would look great. But then if you go on to the nighttime part of your scene, it would look really bad, and you would have to adjust the lighting, change the material, and do things like that. With physically based materials, that doesn't happen. So if you have something that looks metal, if you put it in a daytime scene, it's gonna look metal. If you put it in a nighttime scene, it's gonna look metal no matter what you do. It's always gonna react like metal reacts to light. So that's the magic of it. So to use a PBR material in Maya, you have to first have Substance turned on your plugins. So if you don't see it on your top menu, what you need to do is go to Windows, Settings and Preferences, and then the bottom one is Plugin Manager. This shows you all the plugins that are on, and there's way too many in Maya that are not turned on because your screen is already cluttered with stuff. So if you add too much more, I don't know, it'd be too confusing, I guess. So some of them are not turned on, so by default. So in here, you have to look for I think it's under algorithmic or substance. But for smash, where is it? Maya to Arnold. Oh, there it is. So it's under algorithmic. You just turn on all these plugins in here. You turn them on, and autoload will turn them on when on the top menu, right away. So once you have that turned on, you'll see that, there's this menu. Oh, come on, WebEx is on my way here. You'll see this menu in here, but I was like, what the heck? Where's my material? What's happened? So, like I mentioned, and online you can buy those substances. They call it a substance instead of a material, I guess. So I downloaded the free one, and I want to apply it to this. What happened? Let's open the Hypershade. Well, I guess I'll have to start here. Yeah, we'll just start without adding it. We'll just leave this as it is for now, and I guess this is the right way to do it. So if you open the Hypershade and look at Maya, you'll see 2D textures. Under 2D textures, this is where you usually put a file. We're gonna create a substance node. So once you create a substance node, you'll see this little thing here, this node. Nothing's happened. We don't see anything here. That's because you have to use one of their substances. So if you look at the right side, it says load substance. So I'm gonna click on the folder and go look for a substance, and I have a few. And then in here I have bricks, metal, sandstone, cliff. I guess the only problem with this is that they don't have previews on here. But let's try. I think this is the one that I downloaded from online. Yeah, cinder blocks painted. So I'm gonna say open. So the substance is here. Nothing looks like it's happened here. You have to make sure you're creating an Arnold material, and it says right here what rendering workflow you're using, and we are using Arnold. So we're going to say create shader network. And it might take a minute here. And you see all that work we do setting up the nodes. Maya does it for you, and it's crazy. This tree is crazy. But we started over here. If you look, we started over here. There's our substance. Then in here, there's ambient occlusion. There's the base color, the height map, which you use either on the bump or the displacement. In this case, it's displacement.
So does the PBR hold all that information?
Yeah.
When you create it or when someone creates it?
Yeah, it does. It does. That's the magic of it. So it has all of it in one. And you don't have to do anything, pretty much. Somebody's already done all the work.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. So like there's your shaded network, and it has everything on it. It has normal maps. It has pretty much everything you may want. And obviously you can go node by node and change things, but it looks pretty good by default. You don't have to change much. So you'll see that Maya created an Arnold material because we told it we're working in Arnold. So it's up here. We're gonna name it right away. So I'm gonna click on it and say cinder block. And now we can find it easier. So now that I have the material, I just add it to my object as I would regularly do. So middle mouse click, drag over and paste it on my object. Turn on my textures here, or hit 6 on the keyboard. And there's my material. So we're going to render it and see how it looks. All the properties are not going to show on your preview. But if we do, let me throw a light in here. Let's just put a physical sky because this is a physically based material. And then we're going to render and see how it looks. Ta-da, and it's perfect. There's one thing you may notice. The displacement is not working very well. So if you remember when I talk about displacement, the displacement is controlled by the object, not, I mean, the material. This material is gonna have the displacement perfect. But you have to tell the object. So I'm gonna select the object here. On the attributes of the object. So I'm gonna go to the third icon here for its attributes. By default, it's going to open to the shape of the object. That's what I want. In here you see an Arnold section. On the Arnold section, this should be set up by default. Oh, it's not. Okay, so usually that's weird. It usually sets it up by itself, but usually the bounce padding, it says how much it can bump out. So, or I'm sorry, it gives it a limit, so it doesn't bump out too much, so it doesn't use too much memory. So we're gonna say 0.5. I'm gonna select the region of my object and render again. See how it looks. It didn't improve much. So if you remember, iterations is how many times the object is divided to bump. So we're gonna give it some iterations here. And that's weird. It usually does it by itself with them substance materials. So let me just render that again. Okay, so there it is. So now it's giving it more divisions to bump out. It just needs a little bit less bumping. So I'm going to do 0.1 instead of 1, and I'm going to render that region again. So that's looking better. Is modifying the edge of the object, is giving it all the detail I want. And actually, if I open Unity, for example, you can do the exact same thing. So this is a game engine. I don't know. You might work on different game engines when you go into. Well, let's use this delete me, I guess. When you go into, most likely, a lot of you guys will find work on the game industry. That's where most of the jobs are in 3D or movies or product design or something like that. But on the game companies, they can buy the substances for you. Sometimes they'll have libraries in Studio. Sometimes they will not. So you'll have to make your own. So if you want to make a substance material, but let's say let me just add a game object in here, and we'll add a sphere. Oh, let's add a cube actually. Let's add a cube, and this will be my cinder block material. So it's just like in any 3D software, you have to create the material first. So let me move this window around a little bit. So just like in Maya, it has a default material. These are the properties of this object. Let me just come up here and assets, and in here I'm gonna create a material. So I'm gonna right click, say create material. I'm gonna name it bricks so I can find it. And in here you see all the parts of the material. See, so you could technically go online to textures.com. Where was it? PBR here. You could go online and you know, let's say I like this material. I'm gonna download the albedo, you know, and you come to Unity and you say, here's my albedo, grab the picture from here, dump it in here. The metallic, which is like your roughness, you can grab it and dump it in here, and so on. You know, there's a normal map, height, occlusion, all those other maps. Or you could just right click in here and import the substance, which has everything on one. So let's see, where is it? And PBR materials. So they are. Huh. I'm not seeing the substance, but I guess you could just grab all this. Something has changed for me, but you know, you could put your material together by yourself. You know, you could, just like you do in Maya. Let me lock it in here so it doesn't go away. So here's my color. I'll put it in there. Here's my, what is this? The ambient occlusion. So I'll put it in occlusion. Here's the height map, so I'll put it on height map. Here's the normal map, so I'll grab it to normal map. And this is your roughness map, so I'll put it on metallic. And then we have the material all put together in here, so you just have to grab it and put it on. And there it is, it's all done. So, you know, I used to be able to just bring substances here. I don't know if something's changed. This program changed every other month, pretty much. But you know, this is a workflow you might find, especially for environments. So I just wanted to show you, you know, you can have PBR materials, and you can put them together yourself if you want to. You can buy them and use the whole. You know, you could, since this program is free now, you could bring your model into Substance Painter, and Substance Painter will have a bunch of materials. It'll have a library for you to use, so you can just paint with bricks. You can paint with rock or wood like this. You know, you can use a bunch of stuff. So I know some of you have not started coloring or texturing yet. You can color on your object in Modbox, you know, because it's your character. It's different than you know, a pre-made material, so you might want it to be completely original. But you can use these things also, either putting it together with the parts of it. You know, the parts are These parts are free. Or you can download when you're probably working professionally, you'll probably download one of these and just dump it on your objects. And how do you do that? Like I just showed you in Maya. Again, you just open the hypershade, create 2D texture node. That's a substance node. You put it in here. So let me do a new one. I'll do it again so you can see it again. So I'm going to create a substance node. There it is. On the right side, on the attributes of the node, you load a substance. So I'm going to put the metal on this one so it's different. You say open. The substance is loaded to that node. Now you make sure it's working in Arnold because that's what we're going to render on. And all you have to do is say create shader network. It's gonna think for a minute. You'll see a new Arnold material created in here. You might want to select it and name it so it doesn't get lost. Iron. And now you're good to go. Let's make another object here. You just have it on your list of materials, so you just middle mouse drag it and add it. And sometimes the displacement doesn't work well on the object, so you have to open the shape tab for the object. You open the shape tab, make sure subdivisions should be set up to cat Clark. The iterations is how many times it's subdividing this geometry. I don't know if you guys remember when I showed you this last time, but let me open the preview here. Oh, come on, WebEx menu, get out of my way. Come on, WebEx. It's right on my way. Let me just move the Maya window, I guess. So I'm going to open the preview, open our render view. So if your object is not displaying right, you can turn on, like the material is looking kind of funny. You can turn on the renderer. You can turn on the debug shading, which will show you information about your render. So in this case, the displacement map just creates its own geometry. So to see that, you have to turn on wireframe on the debug shading, and it will show you how much is subdivided. So in here you can see, oh, my sphere is divided pretty well, it has plenty of points to work with. If you look at the cube, there's just like one point on it. That's why it looks so funny. So I'm going to, on the shape of the object, I have the cube selected. So you see here we're in the Arnold section again. Not on this displacement, this is the old Maya displacement. On the Arnold section, we open subdivisions, and we want it to be set to cat Clark. And this iterations is how many times it subdivides this surface, so it has points to work with. So as I increase the points here, you'll see, oh, it's adding more points here. 6 too many, I think. We'll leave it at 5. That should be plenty. Oh, I guess not. Let's do 7. Okay, if you go down, bounce padding is how much it lets the whole object bump out. So you usually want to have some in there. Computer's freaking out here. Come on. Can you guys hear me? Oh shoot.
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
I think my computer just froze. I kept it on for too many days. That's never good for some reason. But anyway, on the displacement attributes, you see the height, how much is displacing, and the bounce padding is how much around the object it lets it stick out. So if I were to render it now, it would look better, kind of like the bricks do on the side on that sphere. But I think my computer just froze, or Maya just froze on me. I have Unity open too, so that's probably not good. So I just wanted to show you that. I hope you guys can try it. It's something you might need on your professional career if you're following modeling, as your career, or some kind of 3D work. So you will hear about substance and substance painters, PBR materials, and that's basically what they are. It's just one material that has all the attributes already on it. Also, I want you to think about. Yeah, I think my computer's frozen because I can't move the mouse. I want you to think about your environment, like create a little chunk of your environment. Just think about, okay, my character lives in Greece. What can I show that represent Greece? Or my character lives on a city that's contemporary and is not destroyed. What would I show about that city? What would it be? The curve there, the fire hydrants, the mopeds you can rent, or those bicycles you can rent. What's on that city? Where does this character live? So you want to tell a little bit of story. I think we should talk a little bit about posing your character, and also putting the displacement map on your character. So it's the same thing than this. You'll have to control the subdivisions that are in your character when you bring a map from Modbox, and if you put it on your low mesh character, it'll give it detail. So we'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, maybe we'll have to cover those separately. I know you guys are still working on painting your character, and now you have to think about the environment too. So just be thinking about those things, and I'll leave it till here for today. I think I've talked enough. But you guys have any questions?
Nope.
No?
I'm sure I will once I get further into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up Painter last week. I was trying to do like my UVs and stuff and all that, but I'm having a hard time with.
Oh, but are you doing the UVs from ZBrush still, or?
I was trying to, but it doesn't unwrap them neatly. And then when I finally had it, to a point where it was like unwrapped, like properly how you showed us. Then when I pulled that into Painter, like the object looked fine, but the UVs were just like scrambled.
Oh.
They looked like mountains, just like all over the place. So I wasn't sure how to get that in there. So I'm probably gonna just do a retopo on mine in Maya, and then just do UVs from that.
Okay. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Hopefully it works though.
Yeah. Well, let me know how it goes. I'll look into. Maybe you have to export the UV separately from. Maybe it's the export from ZBrush, because if you've done the UVs there, I assume you probably tried a bunch of stuff when exporting the UVs.
Yeah. They have like these quick UVs stuff, and then I went in and did like a bunch of other options, and even did like try to separate it by poly groups and do a subtraction from that. But it really wasn't working. So I think I just need to kind of have a lower mesh model, since I don't have one on my sculpt. Because of the issues I was running into, I had to commit to like higher levels of poly, other detail, whatever. So I'll mess around with it more. But
okay. Okay. Good. Anybody else? Anybody else has questions? No?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Uh, for the last assignment, I didn't know. I didn't get a. I got an OB object file, but I didn't get a material file.
No, that's fine. For the human sculpt you did?
Yeah.
That's fine. I can look at it. I'll actually stick around a little bit so we can look
Okay.
at it.
Okay.
Um, anybody else? No, my mouse is not moving, so I can't get out of this screen. All right. If that's all then. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll talk about more about your texture and your character, bringing stuff to other programs, and hopefully posting it. If not Wednesday, we'll talk about posting. All right, but I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
See ya. Okay, Trina, are you there?
I'm here.
Let
How
me
are
see.
you?
Good. Let me see if I can unfreeze my computer really quick. Because my mouse,
Yeah.
my mouse stopped
That
working.
happens to me. Yes.
Shoot. Anything? Nothing. Oh, where's my mouse? Oh, well. So what happened to your object? You couldn't send me the MTL?
No, I did that, but it didn't have. It just had a JPEG with it. It didn't have another file with it.
And that's fine. I actually saw that you submitted the model with some screen captures. Could you make those screen captures bigger?
The one through when I submitted through Outlook or went on campus.
Well, through Canvas. You know what? Let me look at it closer. I think I might be able to open it without the MTL.
Okay.
And I'll let
I
you.
don't know. I didn't know how to make that even happen, so I googled it.
It just happens automatically when you.
Oh, okay.
When you
and then I was like, well, maybe because I didn't put any materials on it, it's not a file. I don't know.
I'll see if it works or not, and then I'll let you know tomorrow. So you don't have to worry about it.
And then the character that I built is the scene that I'm gonna do, or the human form am I gonna do?
No, the flower character.
Okay.
So you would think what else would go in there? Would it be grass? Would it be, other flowers? I'm not sure. Rocks, whatever you want it to be around. That kind of tells us a little bit of the story of this character.
Okay.
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 Yeah, let me look at your object. I'm gonna have to turn off my computer and restart it, and then I'll see if I can open it. If I cannot open it, I'll let you know tomorrow, and we'll hang out afterwards and show you how to export it with the MTL. It should happen by itself, when you export an OBJ, it creates a material file with it. But yeah, I can't do anything. So
No problem.
okay, so let me
Is there,
yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking of maybe having my character at the beach in like near a sandcastle. Is there sand probably as a material?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there's sun somewhere.
Okay. I don't know. One option. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
But oh, come on, task manager. Oh, come on. And come on.